Okay, here's a look at the Legend Scale Ultra Magnus by NewAge. So here's just a quick look at the figure all around. And there are some issues with this that I will point out later. But for the most part, it does look nice looking at it straight on. But first, let's take a close-up look at the box. Just the front of the box and the back of the box, which is upside down. Probably a scene from the cartoon, and the side, which is also upside down. Get some product images. The other side, the same thing. Top of the box, which is also upside down. Product images, and the bottom, some more product images. The white cab that transforms into the white version of Optimus Prime. So that's a quick look at the box. And now let's take a closer look at Ultra Magnus. And like I said, for the most part, it looks nice. The nice colors, nicely painted, nicely sculpted, all the cartoon accurate details. But once you start zooming in, coming up close, you'll notice things that are off, like the top of the chest with his white arm showing when it should be red, and the side of the chest, you know, it should be all red right there, but that's understandable. It's part of the transformation. But down here, this is not acceptable. The gray thigh showing when it should be white. And for me personally, I don't like this. The tip of the foot there is not covered. And then once you start getting to the back, yeah, this starts getting even worse. I mean, the back, it should be all red, you know, but that's kind of understandable. The white cab has to go in there. But the hips here, this is not acceptable. He's missing his back hip piece that should be blue. And it looks like they could have easily gave you a piece to tab those in. And then the same thing with the thighs, all this gray showing with the screws. This red, which should be blue, but I guess that's okay. And just little nitpicky things, those blue stripes, they should be painted white. But yeah, this definitely could have been executed a little bit better. But like I said, for the most part, just looking at it straight on, it looks pretty good. So let's actually compare this with Magic Square's first version, which was based more on representing the character, so it wasn't really cartoon accurate. But their 2.0 version, that one's kind of like this, where it, you know, looks pretty, you know, nice like the cartoon, but it definitely has some similar issues like with the thighs and stuff. But Magic Square is a major parts former, so that's not too cool. And then there was also the Mech Planet, Mech Fans Toys version, which I think was a little bit, you know, cool. But you know, that one also had some issues as well. So all in all of them, you know, they're not perfect. They have like issues here and there. So I think it really comes down to which one that you prefer more. I mean, like I said, for the most part, just looking at it from the front view, it does look pretty nice. And I want to point out, I was not intending to get this because of all the issues that I've already pointed out. But I will say, because their Cyclonus, which is really cool, and their Galvatron, which is also really nice, I just kind of had to get it, especially with the RC that came out. That was really nice. I think people forget, but there was also another season 3 character they made, this Outback, which was really cool. And I can get them to stand, is when you pair them up with the Mech Fans Toys Blaster. Those two guys, they appeared in a couple of episodes together. Looks really nice. And then the Mech Fans Toys Octane, which is really cool. And I didn't get the NewAge clear version of Starscream, so I got the Mech Fans Toys version, which I think is nice because he scales a little bit more proportionate with these other figures. And just adding more, this is the NewAge Soundwave, which, you know, everyone already pointed out. He does look a little dark. It's like a navy blue color, so just a little too dark. But I think it fits in nice with the season 3 because their colors were never pretty consistent. And so far this is looking like a nice Legend Scale season 3. So I'm now all in, and I really regret not getting the Mech Fans Toys Springer, because that looks like it was really a nice figure. But this is not about all these. This is really about the Ultra Magnus. So let's just first let's compare this with the animation model, so we can see, you know, what that looks like. So like I said, for the most part, they did a nice job capturing the cartoon aesthetics, the color, the sculpt, the proportions. All looks really nice. And the back also, I guess it's okay, with the exception of all these things. It just looks really bad. I mean, it just looks like, you know, something's missing. Well, it is. The hips and the back of the thigh is not covered. So yeah, Magic Square, you know, and Mech Fans Toys has some issues as well. But now let's just do this real quick. Just quick articulation. It does have some nice articulation. So let me see if I could zoom in, get a closer look here. So it does go front and back. You do get shoulders going out to the side, bicep swivel, elbow. The fist does rotate. Head is on a ball joint, so it can go up and down all around. You do get waist swivel, and you don't really get an ab crunch. Legs go out to the side, front and back. You do get these side hip skirts, knee band, and you don't get a front and back, but you just get a little bit of an ankle rocker, which is really tight. Yeah, but breaks up the sculpt there. So I don't know, I can't say that this is perfect, but you know, it is what it is for Legend Scale, and I think it looks okay for the most part. So now let's go over some of the accessories. So here you could see he does have his signature Ultra Magnus gun, which looks really nice. The shoulder cannons, which are nice, and these missiles can actually come off too if you wanted to do that, just to replicate like a scene from the cartoon. So that's kind of cool. And then you do get some other accessories here. So you do get an extra pair of hands, the open hand and a pointing finger, which I don't know, I guess they're nice if you use those things. Then you get this extra gun. I'm not sure what that's from. And you get his gun that's, I guess, like Optimus Prime's gun for the white Ultra Magnus. So, that's a look at the accessories. And one last thing that I usually like to do is go over these instructions. So you can see to transform him into the white Optimus Prime. You can see all the detailed drawings showing you all the steps for the transformation, which I guess it's nice. And then on the back, to show you how to transform it to Ultra Magnus, you can see all these steps here that you can pause and refer to for reference if you need it. So that's a look at that. So now let's transform him into his robot mode and take a look at what the alt mode looks like. Okay, here's a look at Ultra Magnus in his alt mode. And you could see, for the most part, this looks like a really nice alt mode. But there are some issues here and there which I'll point out, such as this ramp here. You pull it down, I mean this comes up, which it shouldn't, but you can see this does not extend down all the way like it should, so that a figure can go up in there. So that's just one little issue there. And for me personally, I don't like the way they handled this top trailer bed here with you know, the upper part here cut in half when it should be like a full square, and right here this section should be white. Yeah, I think that's all just the way they chose to design it, and I think they could have designed it much better to be more cartoon accurate. But compared to Magic Square and McFan's toys, I think this looks okay. And some other good things, I do like how they gave you a red trailer bed here, even though it doesn't extend here to the back where it's white. And back here on the bottom it should also be red, but again, compared to Magic Square and McFan's toys, at least they did a nice job of painting that red. And something that I personally like is the cab with the red bumper that's very cartoon accurate, and also the transparent blue windows, which is cartoon accurate, even though he appeared in a couple of scenes in the cartoon where it had like gray windows. But yeah, for the most part, yeah, it's supposed to be a light blue color, and it's nice how it's transparent. And something else that's also cool that you don't get with the Magic Square are the doors that actually open, which is really cool. Just an extra feature here, but that is part of the transformation, but that's still cool nonetheless. So now let's do this. Let's compare this with the animation model, and you could see, you know, for the most part, they did a nice job capturing the cartoon aesthetics. And let's take a look also at the back view. They did a nice job with the back as well. So yeah, I think it's really nice. And for comparison, let's just bring out the only other Season 3 Autobot that I have here in alt mode, which is RC. So you could see this looks really nice. Really looking forward to getting the rest of them. Cup, Blur, Hot Rod, Rodimus, Springer. So that would be really nice. So that's a look at him in the alt mode. And let's just do a comparison. I don't have the actual figures, but you can see compared with the McFans Toys version, you could see they did give you a red bumper. The windows are not blue, but yeah, the top trailer bed and the inner part's not red, so yeah, it's not perfect. And also with Magic Square, which is what McFans Toys copied, you can see same thing, but their 2.0 version, which I have to say is a little bit better, but there are still some issues. Let me see if I can get a comparison here so you can see. You can't really see the trailer bed where it's not red, but yeah, there's just a comparison there. Yeah, like I said, for the most part, all of them are not perfect, but in my opinion, I think NewAge probably did a better job out of all three. So now let's just transform him back into his robot mode and have the final thoughts. Okay, here we have Ultra Magnus back in robot mode, and like I said, for the most part, when you look at it straight on like this, this is a really nice looking figure. Colors, proportion, all the details, very cartoon accurate. But once you start looking at it a little closer, top of the chest is not red. And here the worst parts are like the inner thigh. It's not covered, it's gray, it should be white. Down here like the feet, the tip is not covered. And the worst part is the back. This just looks like it was really unfinished. All this unsightly kibble here just looks like they did not bother to put the effort to cover all this up to make this really a nice figure. So that's a big disappointment. But when you compare this with Magic Square's first version, and then their McFans Toys, which is an improved version of their first version, and Magic Square's 2.0, which is a major parts former. Yeah, this one by NewAge, in my opinion, I think looks better and was maybe done a little bit better in terms of engineering design, the sculpt, the color, and even the cab, which is a little bit more cartoon accurate. But let me zoom in here because there was one important feature that I did not cover, and that is the matrix, which they did not design this very well. So first of all, you have to open this, which these are easy things they could do. They could just make a little indent or something to make it easier to lift up, but they didn't do that. And here, the worst part is trying to open this. Now, whether you're trying to open it from the Ultra Magnus mode by lifting this up or the white Optimus, this is not good. Even a spudger, you can't open it, so I don't recommend doing this, but this is an X-Acto knife because this is really thin. And you could see, you just have to carefully open this up. So this is already not a good design, the way they designed this. But you can see you do get a nice feature where you do have a matrix in there. And it is die cast. And this is problem 2 with this. You cannot easily get this out. So you have to get it off these little pegs here. And then it just comes right off. But let's see if we can, I'd like to do it this way. So let's put it down here and get a closer look. This thing is really small, but this is really nice. It's die cast and it's painted, you know, gold with a little bit of the baby blue. So that's really, you know, a nice accessory. But functionally, this does not work very well. So yeah, and I just want to point that out. And getting it in here is a little bit difficult, but once you get it in, close it up, and then yeah, now he holds the matrix to supposedly light their darkest hour. So that was just another feature I forgot to show. And so my final thoughts on this. I think this is a nice figure. And I think this goes really great with their Cyclonus, their Galvatron, the RC, their Outback, and hopefully they're making the rest of them. And when you compare it with Magic Square's version and MechFans toys, in my opinion, I think this one's better. About paint finish, quality, and all that stuff. All of them are not perfect, like I pointed out again. But for the most part, this one looks good. Magic Squares 2.0 does look good also. But it's major parts former. So instead of going on and on, I'm just going to say this is a nice figure. If you're collecting the Legends and Season 3, this is, I think, a definite must-have. Not perfect, a lot of issues, but like I said, looking at it like this, it does look nice. So with all that, I'm going to give this a final grade of 7.8. Yeah, so that's my final rating. And it's a nice figure. Looking forward to getting the rest of Season 3.
Decepticons! We've got to draw them off and double back to the shuttle.